Good morning. Isn't that funky? Boy, was I busy last night putting a bunch of new things together for you. It is the Real Monica Adams Show, and I am ready to get you in shape physically, mentally, spiritually. Workout and Wellness Wednesdays. That's what we like to call them when we're here. We also have some collaborations with some gyms going on around town, so you might see me pop up there. Some really exciting things to come for you for sure. And on some Fridays, we give you a bonus Fitness Friday. This Friday is going to be Friendship Friday. We're actually going to be talking about the housing market. I was just looking this morning and they said the housing market predictions for the rest of 2024 with low levels of inventory and mortgage rates have come down. If rates were to drop further, they would spur the market for both buyers and sellers. Well, I've got my pro on this Friday, and that is Dot Fleshman from Coldwell Banker Gundaker. We'll not only talk about real estate, but we'll also be doing a little Friendship Friday. So that's coming up for you. Ashlyn, good morning. Ashlyn Cross is one of our interns from SIUE. She'll be handling the moderating today. So anything that you have questions on, she can drop those links for you. And be sure to give her the love and kindness that you always show to my team. Good morning, Julie, Purcell, and Fabian. Linda, good morning. Debbie, good morning to everyone, she says. So yeah, we're going to do a little fitness today. We're going to do one of the things I want to do from the wellness standpoint of the mental side. I actually got from church this past weekend, and it talked about how you find your inner circle. I thought it was really powerful. So we're going to do a little workshop, and I'm going to ask you to grab a piece of paper and a pen. You're going to write down 5 lines, and we'll fill those in a little bit later on in the show. So just know that that's coming up. I'm going to give you the weather. I've got news you can use. We've got some sports news. We're going to talk about back and biceps today. And I'm doing that for one of our viewers that asked how to strengthen the upper, the mid, and the lower back. She said she wanted to look better in sleeveless as well as in her swimsuits and in beautiful dresses. And I'm so glad that you asked that because I have a lot of men that always want to focus on their back, but women don't do it enough, I don't think. So text everyone, give them a call, let them know that we're on multiple platforms. You can watch on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, or Rumble. We're on all those platforms this morning. And remember, on Thursdays, we drop a podcast on the audio side, and that can be wherever you get your audio podcast. Tomorrow, Amy Post, the author of the book, Out of the Gray, Into the Light. Next Thursday, Todd Michaels, who interviewed me just a couple of weeks ago. You'll be able to let people know that they can hear that one. And then that powerful interview we did yesterday. Did you get a chance to watch that? Katie Langley, thank you so much for opening up your heart and your soul and sharing a little bit about your sister, Carly Langley. So if you didn't see that, please do me a favor and watch that entire interview. It was really, really powerful. Okay. It's so nice to finally be wringing ourselves out this morning, is it not? It was just an absolute mess yesterday. So from a forecast standpoint, that rain moving out, you might see a little bit here and there depending on where you live, but let's run it down for you. The 7-day forecast from our friends over at First Alert 4. Today, a 20% chance of spot storm, 87 for that high. We're going to drop down into the upper 60s tonight. Tomorrow, same thing, a very slight chance of a spot storm, but we're starting to creep up, as you can see in the numbers, 89 for the high tomorrow. Down to 70 Thursday evening. On Friday, yet again, a very slight chance of a spot storm, but it's starting to get more humid. 91 for the high, 73 for the low, and then we just keep increasing. And it's going to get dangerously hot as we go into Sunday and into next week. 92 on Saturday. That slight chance of a spot storm sticks around. Sunday, the heat index is what I want you to pay attention to. 100, that's the feels like temperature. 96 for a high on Sunday. Hot, hot, hot as you can see. And then on Monday, the heat index goes to 105 and the same for Tuesday with highs, actual temperature highs of 97. Okay, let me just say that we are going to the Cardinal game on Sunday, the Cards against the Cubs, which is a phenomenal series. Always love to go to those. Whew, but I'm telling you, I have a feeling that we're not going to be in our seats much. If any of you are going to the game, please do me a favor. If you see us in the stands, say hi. We're going to probably be creeping away into the air-conditioned area. I bought these 4 tickets at a gala that I emceed last year, and I'm taking along a couple of our sponsors and Michelle just to treat them for everything that they've done for us. But as I mentioned, I doubt we'll be in those seats a lot. I think we're going to go back into the cooling area. So the Cardinals, by the way, are supposed to be in action today in a doubleheader, and I'll get to that in sports in just a second. Let's start out. I posted this actually yesterday, so I don't know if a lot of you had a chance to see that, but Joe Bonsall, longtime member of the Oak Ridge Boys, passed away at the age of 76. And I mentioned that when you're signing on today, if you wanted to share some of your favorite stories or your favorite songs about the Oak Ridge Boys, please do so. I'm sure he's smiling down from heaven, knowing that he came into your life and that you had a favorite song of his. So if you didn't hear that, that was the news yesterday. Now, I like to do follow-up stories for you, and we're going to start with this one. The procession traveled more than 100 miles for this gentleman, for the firefighter that was killed during that water rescue in Columbia, Missouri. A procession of first responder vehicles escorted the body of the fallen firefighter from Columbia to Union yesterday. And despite the rain, because it was so heavy, they came out in droves. Many people held American flags as they stood along the route in honor of Tobin. People wanted to pay their tributes to this hero. And that's what the Boone County Fire Protection District Assistant Fire Chief Gail Blomenkamp said. He said Tobin served nearly 2 decades in the Union Fire Protection District, his last 5 as the assistant fire chief. He took a job with the Boone County Fire Protection District literally just back in May. And Monday morning, if you haven't heard, around 5 a.m., Tobin and another firefighter used an inflatable boat to rescue 2 people during the flash flooding that we've been seeing. They had made the rescue. They pulled the 2 people out of the tree. They were working their way further upstream to get them to safety and get themselves safe when they lost power on the boat and the boat capsized. But the other firefighter and the 2 victims were rescued. A rope was thrown to Tobin, but he was unable to catch it. He went underwater and never resurfaced. That just gives me a chills when we talk about this story. First responders from across the region joined in that procession yesterday. Many were waiting in Union for Tobin's body to arrive. A statement from the Union Fire Protection District called Tobin an exceptional firefighter and respected leader. Funeral arrangements at this point have not been announced. But again, when we talk about heroes, first of all, heroes just going into the field as firefighters and police officers. But then here he is doing his work, and it's such a sad story. It truly just, it puts a lump in my heart. So if you had not heard that story, or if you had, I just wanted to give you a follow-up of where it was. And again, as I mentioned, the funeral arrangement's still being made at this point. A follow-up to this story as well. I'm wondering if you wondered what the heck's been going on with this. That's that mine. Nearly 2 weeks in, this is in Alton, after the Alton mine subsidence caused a sinkhole in the park. Well, it still sits there. That's Gordon Moore Park, continuing to cause issues. And I mean, from a financial standpoint, that was nearly 2 weeks ago after the mine subsidence. The park remains closed, of course, as a safety precaution. So not only does it affect practices, but there's so many other things that would be taking place there. It brings in massive tournaments, helping support the region, right? And one of those, the National Club Baseball Association World Series. And according to some officials in the area, they're saying that it brought in $1 million to Alton last year. 16 college baseball teams into the local area. Fans and parents obviously got to stay somewhere, right? They have restaurants, they have shopping that they would have gone to. A huge factor in all of that, and it's going to take a hit not having access to that park. They do, by the way, have another meeting this week, and will hopefully have more information on what next steps look like. At this time, the park remains closed. The mining operations are halted pending MSHA's investigation. No timetable to reopen this park or even resume the mining operations. The data is still being collected to ensure the safety of the area. Alton officials, by the way, said they received approval from MSHA to drill under the park access road. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Okay, let's get into some good news stories. A new sports complex, one of the largest in the Midwest, to be built in Chesterfield. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but Keystone Construction Company has been chosen to design and to build a new sports complex in Chesterfield that will be one of the largest in the Midwest. A $60 million indoor and outdoor Car Shield Sportsplex. It's AAA hockey and football. That's a facility that will accommodate the Car Shield AAA hockey and football clubs, which already serve more than 500 kids and 45 teams in the St. Louis area. And that includes an elite hockey program, which produced alumni and future St. Louis Blues players. One of the players recently ranked 48th in the NHL's draft. The 325,000 square foot Car Shield Sportsplex will offer 4 indoor turf soccer fields, 2 indoor ice rinks, team locker rooms, a pro shop, training and fitness spaces. I love this. Can't wait to see it. A restaurant, bar, concessions, classrooms, competition ice rinks, educational hockey, and football academies. They'll have youth training, food, and entertainment all this year round. Outside of that complex, there will be 3 turf soccer fields, concessions, a dining patio, a children's playground. The design features large, clear span structures that will allow for an open interior free of obstruction in the ice rink and the soccer field. So that's coming to Chesterfield. And then how about this, to our Delmar area, a multi-restaurant development. And you're going to love this one. It includes probably some of your favorites you may have gone to already. We're talking about Steve's Hot Dogs, The Fountain, and Alpha Brewing Company. It opened up this week, one of the most anticipated developments, by the way, in the St. Louis city area, opening up this weekend, bringing several St. Louis restaurants all under one roof on Delmar Boulevard. So Steve's Hot Dogs, I'm so proud of my friend Steve. The Fountain on Delmar, and we just had them on actually, a few months ago talking about this. Alpha Brewing Company Distillery, all opening as part of a new venture in the Delmar Makers District. And the spot once housed, by the way, a car wash. They had car detail, been revamped and redeveloped into a restaurant hub. Steve's Hot Dogs opening up on July 12th. That's going to be Friday. A grand opening party for Steve's, The Fountain, and Alpha Brewing will be held on July 13th. All of that featuring live music. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, there you go. Go out and support them. Let them know that you heard us talking about them. A little sports news for you. St. Louis native Jason Tatum taking to Team USA fresh off his NBA championship with the Boston Celtics. The Chaminade College Prep School graduate Jason Tatum back at work with Team USA. The best basketball players are in Las Vegas for camp ahead of the Olympics, and they will play their first exhibition game against Canada on Wednesday. Boy, I feel sorry for them in Vegas, by the way. Have you heard? They are experiencing such record high temperatures. In fact, 120 just the other day, and they're saying the glass is breaking in the area, just at people's houses and businesses, all because of just how ridiculously hot it is. Woo! All right, we talked about how hot it's going to be this weekend as the Cards are going to be playing, but today, not as hot as we'll see this weekend against the Cubbies. They have a doubleheader, though, because, of course, yesterday a big washout and a rainout. The Cards and the Royals, doubleheader, 12:45 the first game and the second game at 6:45. Now you are all up to date. And when I tell you that I want to give you the news you can use, some talkers, as well as your weather and your sports, that's everything, so that you don't have to turn on the news and hear any negativity. And then we give you full-blown, multiple facets of life, fitness, mental side. We're going to talk about all of that today. And I'm going to say good morning to all of our friends before I take our quick break, and then we'll be back. We're going to start with the body. We're going to start with Susan's request about biceps. Come on, everybody. And you're back. If you want to do it live with me, you might want to grab some bands, or you can do some light weights, and then maybe have a bench. I'm sitting on a bench that can incline. I'm also going to throw in a little cardiovascular, so you really burn those calories and shed that body fat that you're talking about that you want to lose. Stephanie, good morning to you. No more sleeveless for me, Debbie says. All right, well, maybe you can change that mindset. Stephanie, my pool was closed because of the rain. We have been back washing like crazy, Stephanie. I hear you, girl. I'll be in the AC at the game. Julie, well, come out and find us. Ashlyn, news you can use. That's right, girl. I love it. Carrie, good morning. Kathy, good morning. And Debbie says, I hear big dogs. One big one and then 2 small ones. Yes, they're up there barking in the background. Okay, 7:16. When we come back, are you ready? We're going to work out, and then we're going to talk about how you find your tribe. So here's the thing. There's so many of you that sign on and have told me I don't have friends, or my siblings and I are at a loss together, or my husband's this, my boyfriend's that, my girlfriend's that. Do you hear what I hear as a life coach? Excuses, excuses, excuses. Today, take your day back, and then days to come. First of all, get moving. Right? A sedentary lifestyle just puts you in a place where you're stuck. You got to get movement. I don't care whether you get up and walk, whether you want to jog, whether you want to run, whether you want to do Pilates and yoga or dance. Find what fits your lifestyle and just get on it. If you've got an injury, let's work around it. Call your doctor. make sure that whenever you think of tuning in to my show, and I'm going to give you a fitness routine, that you're okay to work out. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Luann. So if you're able to, do it with me. If not, hang on to it when you are able to. And then let's get your mind right. It's all coming up on The Real Monica Adams Show.
Come on, Monica. Let's go, St. Louis. Turn and burn.
Hey. Hello, Miss Monica.
Monica.
Hi, guys.
This is a good one. Sometimes you spend like 10 years and you don't got one like this.
Hi, Monica.
It's a feast. It's like a 17-course meal. You just you need a minute. With wine. With a wine pairing. And a whiskey pairing.
That is what. There it is.
I think I just have the most beautiful experience. I saw fireworks.
Thank you, Monica, for making our day.
Well, you are so welcome. I love making everybody's day. Again, trying to give you everything I possibly can to make your life better. And then I want to tell you about these wonderful people that are part of our Real Monica Adams team. And that is Just Pools and Spas on the West Outer Road in Arnold. I mean, look at that. Gorgeous hot tubs that you can have, swim spas, and then all of the goodies to get into the pool. Those huge noodles are all the rage. I bought a couple of those. We're going to put them in the pool and then take them out as we go boating with Mama Jackie out in Lake St. Louis, or maybe we take them to Table Rock Lake. It's fun to hop out of the boat, right? And then get in the water and chill out on those noodles. So they've got some big specials for you right now. You can get 10% off of all the chemicals that you need to keep your beautiful pools sparkling. And then they have 30% off of all those, again, toys and things that the kids are looking for. We're looking right now at the beautiful pool that they have in Arnold. This could be your backyard. So when people say, I want to spend more time at home and not spend so much money out at other businesses, well, then create this. Create your own backyard oasis. Jim and I did that a handful of years ago. We were lucky to have the pool already at the house, and ironic, it was actually put in by Just Pools. I mean, weren't we meant to be tied together? I love that. So an in-ground, an above-ground pool, whatever you would like for your family and whatever fits your budget. Just please do me a favor when you're thinking about doing this, either you or someone that you know, do me a favor and support those that support us. That's how this wonderful show sticks around, that we support the incredible sponsors that have stepped up and said, yes, I want to be a part of the positivity that you're providing to the world, Monica. So Just Pools and Spas, West Outer Road in Arnold, and tell them that Monica sent you along. It is 7:20. Good morning to all of you that are just tuning in. Let me pop over here to Instagram, making sure I'm not missing anyone and making sure that I look at all of your comments. Hi, Diane. Good morning. Good morning, Rose. What is that outside? Oh, it's the sun, she said. Yeah. Rose, hope you're having a great start to your day, as of course to everyone else. And looking on Instagram. Oh, Instagram's a little slow today. How about X? We mentioned that for a lot of people, they say, I don't want to be on Facebook. All right, then come on over and go on to the other platforms that we have. All right, I don't see any questions that I'm missing just yet. So let's get to this. I had a viewer reach out, and this is what I want all of you to do. I want to be able to cover the stories that you want me to cover. I want to cover the topics that you want us to discuss. And then when it comes to the fitness side, I want to make sure that I'm showing you what you're looking for your body. So you got to email me, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com, and say, hey, Monica, next week, can you cover blah, so-and-so? Ask me to do this, whatever. That's what I used to do when I was doing Monica's Motivational Moments. At the very end, I would say, this one's for you, Susan. Now tell me, what can I do for you? And I mean that, whether you're younger, whether you're older, whether you don't have a lot of mobility, whether you have to stay in a chair, whether you're ready to level up and you're at the advanced level. Let's do it. Take advantage of what I've been doing for 26 years. I've been a trainer. I've been in the wellness field for a long, long time, 26 years. So come on, I'm giving you things that people pay really good money for. And when people say, I can't afford a trainer, then take these, put them together, and put your own program together, okay? So speaking of programming, you want to do those big muscle groups, and then we trail down into the smaller muscle groups. The smaller ones, by the way, for today are going to be our shoulders, our biceps. They support the bigger, larger muscles that we're working in the back. And then we'll finish out with the biceps. Now, I'm not going to do the full-blown thing because I want to spend a good majority of the second half hour of the show talking about something that I really connected to at church over the weekend, and how you can start implementing this in your life if you feel like you're struggling in the spiritual mental health realm. Okay. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to turn this for you just a bit here. We're going to go over to, so this is my Smith machine. It's a dual use area. Now, some of you might have to use maybe some kind of a pole, or maybe you go outside and you take and you connect your bands onto a tree if you want to. So that's the cool thing about bands or TRX bands, that you can use those up against anything. So I have several different resistance band, 10, 20, 30, 40. Find the one that works for you. I'm going to move this out of the way here. So this is a bench we have to do some ab work. But the thing I want to start with is they're called, we can say they're called face pulls. So I'm going to do a lighter weight so that I don't hurt anything up in my shoulder or in my neck. Okay, so take your band. And as I mentioned, you're going to put it around whatever you can use. For me, you're going to see me put it around this. We're going to put it around, how about we put it around this pole, and we're going to keep it up higher. So face pulls. What do you think we're working? I'm going to do a few for you. Sit back down and we're going to talk about what this worked. What do you think I'm working here? At this particular level, again, face pulls. So you're like this. You're going to hold it here. Do not do this and tighten up in the neck. So watch movement first. Here, pulling inward. And look at how my elbows come up. So here. And where am I breathing, folks? Where does the breathing take place? Because the breathing is just as important as the movement. So here we are. Pulling in. 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I've always mentioned, it depends on what your goals are as to how many repetitions that you're going to do. So I want to make sure you can see me, okay? So I'm going to move this way. Here, elbows high. So I'm going to do 5 more. 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. I'm going to pause there for a second and come back here. We're going to do a little Q&A for those of you that are willing to participate. And if you're doing them along with me, let me know. All right. Ashlyn says the core. Well, I tell you what, I'm a big fan of using the core in every movement. So as I am tightening up the body, that's where my core comes into play. But what was I doing in the actual movement? What area of the back? Let's put it that way. What area of the back am I using as I'm doing the movement and I've got it lined up in a higher area? So Susan asking me to take care of all areas of the back. What part of the back am I working there? Mike Davidson, how much do you bench? Okay, Mike, you know what? It's been a long, long time since I have done any type of maxing out. But I'll tell you, in college, my 3 rep max, we did 1, then we went up to like 2 or 3. Okay, we'll get to the comments from Linda and Missy. Go ahead and put your comments because I'm going to interact with you back and forth. And do these with me if you want to. Mike Davidson, I did 160 pounds on the bench back in college. Now, I haven't done workouts to all out max for a long, long time. I'm actually curious. I'd say right now, maybe 120, maybe. I've done 95. No, I've done 105 by myself at the gym without spotting, but I'm not a fan. And I was like, Monica, you shouldn't be doing that. I didn't have anybody working out with me, but I was intrigued by where my strength was. I don't lift really heavy anymore. I switched that around probably about 3 months ago. You probably have watched it in my physique as I've changed around. Also did my blood panels, so I knew from a hormonal standpoint what might have been holding me back. For those women that are approaching their 40s and you're in perimenopause, you get into menopause, post-menopause, if you're struggling with weight, if you're struggling, you're bloating, you've got all these different mood swings. I want to take care of men and women today. Men at the same point, if you don't know, I should say it this way, if you are lacking energy and you're not able to actually put on size, you need to check your testosterone levels. I have talked about that for months on end about how you can go in and get your blood work done and then get that taken care of. Why live not to the best that you could have? So I'm thrilled. I love how I'm sleeping. I love how I'm feeling. And I love how my physique is looking because it's taking on that change that I've been looking for. So Mike, good question, by the way. Where are you watching from? Is this your first time watching? I don't think I've talked with you before. So I don't know how much my max would be. I was kind of curious, but at the same time, I don't want to lift really heavy anymore. But I would say maybe if somebody was spotting me, maybe I'd be around 130. That's pushing it, but I bet you I could get back up to 150, but I would have to train heavy. And my husband's like, nah, it's time to not hurt yourself, Monica. But Mike, tell me, how much do you bench? Where do you train? Linda, shoulders, good. And upper back, exhale when you return. So I'm exhaling here, Linda, and then inhaling. I'm not exhaling on the way back. I'm exhaling on the way in. So a good thing to remember, on the hard part of the movement, that's where you need your breath pattern. And it plays massively into the workout. So for those of you that are training, remember, if you're squatting, the exhale doesn't happen on the way down. You actually should probably start your squat down in place and press up, because it'll help you remember that the exhale happens on the way up. So this is my exhale, because that's the harder part of the movement. And then inhaling on the way back. Now it switches around, by the way, in Pilates. People get a little confused because the breathing is almost completely switched. Missy, lats. Yes, some of that. Good morning, Wayne. Anybody else? I'm going to pop over. If you have any questions or comments as you are signing on Instagram or on X or on Rumble and YouTube, let me know, because they'll all pop in here for me. All right, everybody. So let me break it down even more. When we're working up high, we're actually working into our traps, and we're working into our rhomboids. You've got a sternocleidomastoid muscle. You've got scalenes. We want to relax these. I don't want this tightening up and doing the work. We want to work into our shoulders. So Linda had mentioned shoulders. Yes, our rear deltoid, that should actually get some of the work. Our traps, our rhomboids, all of that in the upper part of the back. And I don't see a lot of people focus on the upper back as much as they should. So if you're just tuning in, let me show you one more time, and then we're going to move into more mid back. So all you have to do is take that band and start walking down the pole or the tree or whatever you have to start hitting different areas. So one more time, this is it. And then your reps are going to depend upon your goal, right? So take this, put it around your apparatus, and we're going to hold up high and get in, pulling towards the face. I've got 1 foot forward. I could change and alternate that. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to do 5 more for you here. I'm going to make sure you all can see me. Okay, there we go. 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And you should feel that. If you're doing it properly and you're not tightening up in the neck, you should feel that right away in the area that I just mentioned. All up in here in the traps and the rhomboids and the rear delt, and then the biceps again getting some help. Before we move on past that, any questions that you have? Mike, my max is 109.5 on a good day. I work out at Curves from time to time. 109.5. I mean, you're very specific. Where's Curves? And Mike, where are you watching from? Or is it Mike? Or is someone using that particular profile? Let me know who that is that's typing to me right now. Okay, so you all were correct on that. So we're talking about working back. We're talking about working biceps today as well. So that was the first one, more of the higher part of the back. Now, I'm also a fan of someone, Missy said earlier, lat work. So if you want to know how to work the lats, and a lot of women want to work towards doing a pull-up. So if I take this up for you, you can maybe see. Yes, there you go. The higher part of that would be for me to do pull up work. Most women and some men cannot pull up their own body weight. They want to work towards that. In order to get to that, you've got to work the back in other areas, your shoulders, your biceps, etc., and then get up to be able to do that. So instead of doing pull up, what do? We do pull down. And you can be seated, or you can stand, or you can kneel. If your band is very lightweight, here's the tips for you. Just back off the apparatus that you're putting your band around. And that way you'll have more of that resistance, right? So some people say, I only have 10 or 20 pounds for my resistance bands, and it feels too easy. And I'm trying to challenge myself. all you need to do is back off. And of course, the opposite. If it's too hard and you've got a heavier band that you can't really do that full pull, then you get closer to your whatever you're wrapping it around. So that was only 10 pounds. All right. I hate the word only. I was using 10 pounds doing my face pulls. I don't want it to tighten up my neck. So I'm keeping it less in resistance, and I'm backing off, having a bigger pull through so I can feel the burn. You haven't asked, but let me tell you, I would do multiple sets of that. So 3, maybe even 4, and repetitions, maybe up to 25. Again, my goals are to get stronger, but be leaner. So you've got to figure out what your goals are and what your end point is. Then ask any questions that have to do with that. Okay. Let's talk about the lat side. Okay. So Missy was talking about lats before. Let me move this over for you so you can see. I'm going to grab, how about we're going to go up in resistance. We're going to grab the 20. So these bands, by the way, I'm a big fan of. Let me show you these. I want you to protect yourself. So having worked around gyms for my whole life, I'm not a fan of the bands that are just the band itself, and then they start cracking on you. You'll see them in the gym. Stay away from them. Take it from me. One of my clients, this is probably 15 years ago, was working out with one of them, and it was cracking right in the middle of it, and it snapped and it popped me in the eye as I was training her. I swear I thought I was going to go blind. Extremely dangerous with those. And I wish more people would maintain their equipment better so that wouldn't happen. Well, guess what? My dear friend Tony Horton, and there are others, have come out with these where they're all cased. As you can see, the band is all cased. So it's a protection. It also allows for a little bit more of resistance against that pull. So I'm going to put this one up and over. So let me turn this up for you. It would be great to have somebody shooting in the morning, wouldn't it? So I'm not doing all this for you. So I want to make sure you can see. Oh yeah, that's great. Great view here. So we're going to put it up and over where we would do the pull-up. I'm going to do it only for purposes so that you can see. I'm going to stand, but normally I like to do these kneeling. But since I don't have anybody shooting camera-wise, I'm going to do them standing so that you can see the lat pull-down side. Coming down and finishing the movement. Let me stress that's the biggest thing that I see with clients. They don't finish the movement. So you can kneel down or you can sit down on a chair or a bench. We're going to take this now. I may have to actually kneel or back off a little bit. So here I'm going to back off just so I can have the movement go through. So Missy, this one's for you, talking about lats. So now I'm going to come all the way down. So you see the difference and finishing the movement. I'm not just coming towards my jawline, but coming from high, going down and squeezing and pulling it down. Pull down. That's what the exercise is called. Pull down. Now, what is the thing I'm going to tell you as a trainer that I don't want you to do while you're doing this? Let's see if you can answer that question. What do I not want to happen as you're doing the exercise? So we're doing back work today. 6, 7. You'll notice something that I'm doing that hopefully you can replicate. 9, 10, 5 more, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I really feel that right where Missy was talking about working the lats. Anybody have any guesses? If you're just tuning in, by the way, welcome. It's the Workout Wellness Wednesday, and Susan asked last week for me to cover back. So far, we've talked about the upper back, the mid back. Now, this is for guys. This is for girls. If you want to put dumbbells into play, barbells into play, kettlebells, resistance bands, TRX bands, you got to use what you have. And if you're working out at the house, then you use what you have at the house and you start to build your gym. That's actually a future show we should do. What do you really need in your gym where you don't have to spend an enormous amount of money? Obviously, this is my office. So I personal train here, and I've got several working pieces for myself and for my husband. But I want to know, what do you think is important on that particular exercise that I want to make sure that you do so that you don't injure yourself? First part, more upper back. Second part was going into our lats and our mid back. Anybody have any questions or comments or aha moments as we're doing this? Oh, you guys are awfully quiet today. Linda says, don't lean back so far. Yes, You have to lean back if you feel like the resistance is too light, but you can lean back as long as you're engaging your core and you're not swaying in the low back. That's a good point, Linda. Anybody else? It has to do with what we just came out of, which was working the upper back. As you're doing back work, you got to be very, very aware. I'm going to give you the answer of not tightening up and doing this. Because all I see that happens afterwards is a lot of people going like this. Oh, Monica, my neck hurts. Of course you do. Your neck hurts because you're doing this. That is not the area that I want to do the work. If you're wanting to build your lats and get stronger, and what are our lats? It's in here. I mean, guys love to have that big cobra look, right? So they get bigger in their back and then their waist gets tinier. Look at the physique of a bodybuilder or someone who's just really trying to sculpt the body. Their lats start to come out. They're really engaging in here. So if you watched, I'll do a few more for you before we move on to the low back and then biceps. I'm just going to give you about 4 or 5 exercises today, and then we're going to start talking about our mental side. So you've got to use the lats. One of the biggest things I wanted you to see was that I was coming down and coming back up and allowing the stretch to happen. But as the stretch happened, I didn't do this. So get those shoulders away from the ears. That's the biggest thing that we always talk about. So here you go. 5 more. Pay attention to form. It's very important. There we go. And again, using a 20, I could go, if I went down to my knees, I don't know if you'll be able to see me. There we go. Can you see okay? Yes. So you're going to go like this. This is right. I'm keeping my neck and my shoulders down. And then from here, letting the full extension come back up, exhaling here, finishing the movement. And when I finish the movement, it's an extra squeeze in my lat. Okay, I hope that all makes sense. The low back, you can do this on... So I moved the bench out of the way earlier. If you have a bench like they have in the gym where you're able to hook your legs, you're going to be belly forward. You're able to hook your legs and then you lie over the top of it and come up. It works your erector muscles. It works your glutes, some into your hamstrings. But that's how you get into the low back. For me, I can duplicate that at home on one of those big fitness balls. So if you've got one of those, let me grab one for you. Stand by. You can do your low back on one of these. So let me move this out of the way for you for a second. We're going to bring this back into play for our biceps. And again, you haven't asked, but I'll tell you. Repetitions, sets. Again, I'm doing multiple because I want to work higher repetitions and I want to work lower weight because of what my goals are. You got to do what your goals are. Let me bring this down for you. So one of these, you would put your body over the top of it, just like this would be the bench. So you're going to be like this. I want your feet to be out, straddle outside of the ball. And you see how straight, I'm very big on lines when we work out. It's not hovering like this. It's not wrenching the back and being up like this. We're going to do that in the movement. But your positioning, you're looking for these really pretty straight lines. So my feet are wider than the ball. And then I'm going to put my hands on the back where I'm working, low back. So many people say, Monica, I got low back fat. Okay, first of all, nutrition is key. Secondly, we got to work the low back. So you're going to go over the ball and pushing over the ball as far as I can. And that is for my stretch portion, which feels great, by the way. So stretch, workload, stretch, workload. Watch, it looks like this. Over the top, coming up, coming back over as far as I can. This is my stretching portion. Once I'm working, I'm back in place in that pretty line, raising up and down. Now, these will really burn in this area that you're looking to work. What I don't want is this to happen, that you start doing this. You see what I'm doing with my neck and my shoulders, pinching them together? That's a no-no. You don't want that. So coming up and squeezing, working, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the low back. As I mentioned, that erector area. Hamstrings might feel a little bit. Core is engaged. My belly, by the way, is pulling up and inward as if I'm attaching it to my spine. And my repetitions, are going to be higher on those, okay? That's my goal. I might do 25, 30 or higher. My repetitions are going to be higher again because of what I'm looking for. So any questions on that? I just showed you upper back, I showed you mid back, and I showed you low back. Now we're going to go back. Well, actually, we can do it on here. You can use the ball. Now, why? Anybody have an answer as to why I wouldn't want to use the ball instead of using the bench? Because if you have a ball at home, you can do all of these exercises as well on a ball, and you get a little added benefit of something. Anybody have an idea of what that is? If you're just tuning in, by the way, 7:43, we are going to talk about something I learned in church that I want to pass along to you that I think might help a lot of you. Rich, I don't have a ball in front of me right now, but I can't wait to try this and fall all over the ground. I don't want you to fall. I want you to use the core. And I stress this. Anybody that's doing these at home, I don't want you to come back and say, "Oh, Monica, I hurt myself. The doctor said I shouldn't do that." I told you, you got to talk to your doctor, talk to your physical therapist, anybody that knows whatever it is that's hurting you, and make sure that you can do this. Julie says more balance and core. Linda says keeping yourself steady also works the core. Boom, you are correct. So instead of always standing or always sitting down, try to put a ball in play. But again, as Rich said, if you don't feel comfortable with it, this is where I would prefer that you have a personal trainer. Even if you hire a trainer for just a few sessions and then really use their knowledge, have them write up a program for you, have them show you proper form so that you can move forward into it. Yes, so we just wrapped up the back, and we can do a lot more, but my choice today was to show you 5 exercises. Those 3, and then when we come back, we're going to show you 2 exercises that I want to show you either on a ball or on an incline. And this is something I haven't shown before. I love incline bicep rotational work, and we'll show you that when we return.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
Well, welcome back. Yeah, we would love to be a part of your event. So yeah, reach out to me. My team will get back with you. If you've got a gala coming up, you've got a big festival, and you're looking to raise some big money, I'm very, very proud of what we've been able to do as a team for emceeing, for auctioneering, motivational speaking. And somebody asked me, would I travel? Of course. I've gone to Kansas City, Missouri, and spoke at a 2-day conference. We went to Springfield, Illinois. Yes, absolutely. I would love to bring my triangle of life theory and all my years of doing spiritual and life coaching, and really not just from the individual standpoint of wellness, but for corporations. You want to really do mind mapping and understand where your life should go. All those things can take place. So reach out to us, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And on the bottom of the screen, you're also seeing mobile Monicas. We're going to do one tomorrow, and that will be at Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue. We're excited to be back with Jessica Cook. They have their big gala coming up, speaking of galas, and that is going to be a whole new world gala. And I want you to put this on your calendar. I'd love for you to be there with us. It's October 19th at Whitmore Country Club. That's in Weldon Spring, Missouri. All of the proceeds go to Yuppie Puppies Forever Rescue, a whole new world with you. I hope you will all be there. You're going to be really surprised tomorrow when we run down and tell you just how expensive some of these vet bills are. We'll break that down for you a little bit tomorrow. And we're going to talk about some of these dogs that have been returned. I don't understand that mentality. To me, a dog should be treated like your child. You wouldn't return your child, so why in the world would you even put the process in your mind of thinking that you are going to return a dog? I don't get that mentality at all. All right, if you're just tuning in, 747, we've showed you back exercises. And then I'm going to show you 2 quick bicep exercises, and then we'll take the last 15 minutes to talk about something that I hope I can have you utilize to help the mental side and the spiritual side of things that you are struggling with. This, I'm using 15 pounds. I have my bench behind me, as you can see, and I've got it on an incline. Why am I inclining instead of sitting upright? Well, I want you to lean back. A lot of you said it earlier, engaging the core. I mentioned I love doing rotational work. Now, you do not want to do too heavy with this, or you might strain in the neck and in the shoulders. You've got to find the weight that works for you. Again, a lot of the questions I used to get from people were, well, how much weight should I use? How many sets should I do? How many repetitions? Again, you've got to find what works for you. But what I don't want is that you just go through the motions and it's too easy. I don't want you to hurt yourself. All right, nurturing you. So I'm starting with the dumbbells down. My palms are down. And then I'm going to rotate them to come up all the way through the movement. So it looks like this. My head's back. I'm protecting my neck. I'm coming up, squeezing. And as you can see, I start to rotate on the way down. I'm just going to do 5 of these. Where's my exhale? Right here. Why do I exhale? Anybody want to answer that? I mentioned it earlier if you were paying attention. So there's 5. You're going to go through and do whatever weight you want, as many reps as you want, as many sets as you want to get to your goals. But if you have never incorporated an incline exercise for bicep work, start doing it and watch how the arms start to sculpt a little bit different instead of just always doing basic curls up and down. And also, don't rush through the movement and don't make it smaller. So make sure that you're not going from here, pausing here. You got to go all the way down, not hyperextending, but go all the way down through the movement and come all the way up and finish the movement. So rotational work, do those. And then the other is I like to do 21s, which we haven't shown in a long time. This might be a little heavy. I did these yesterday at the gym with barbells. Let me back off the camera so you can see here. You can do these seated, or you can do them. You know what? Let me give you this so that that's not in the way. There we go. Let's take that. You obviously know my name. So let's do 21s. So 21s are 7, 7, 7. The lower end only to 90 degrees. I'm going to do this and see if I can get through all of them. 4. This is pretty heavy. 5, 6. Notice I'm not rocking. I'm controlling it. 7. Pause there. Then you do the higher end. Although I just told you not to only do this. If you're doing 21s, you can do the shortened part of the movement. 2, 3. Well, I'm feeling this. I did this workout yesterday. 5, 6, 7. Now here's a key. You got to find a weight that you can control all the way through the movement. That's 14, right? Now all the way up, all the way down without rocking. All right. Well, this probably would work, but this is a good struggle. Answer me why I'm breathing out, by the way. 5, 6, 7, and I've finished. That's 21. Those are called 21s. I love incorporating those. Those are not easy, by the way, or at least I should say I don't want you to make them easy. So before we move on into our last part, which is giving you some spiritual and mental help, why? Why am I exhaling right here? I'm not going to give you the answer. I want to see just how much you paid attention. It's key in your workouts. Make sure that you breathe out and in at the proper part of the exercise. That's what's important. All right. You can answer that before we wrap up if you want to. All of you that are just tuning in, welcome to the show. Tell me if you're new to the show. I would love to know where you're watching from. Kasha is joining us from Canada. Hello, my friend. She's a personal trainer involved in the fitness industry in Canada. And if you have not ever been a part of one of our life coaching sessions, those are coming back in the fall. My friend, I hope you're doing great. I thought I saw, let me see real quick here. There's a person that I have teamed up with. Oh no, she's not on yet. From a eating standpoint side. So I am doing a lot of programming for current clients and new clients. And I said, if you're all in, I'll be all in for you. What does all in mean? You're going to show up to your workouts. You're going to put them on your calendar. There are no excuses. Nobody else gets to take that hour away from you. So regularly, if you know you've got a class on Monday nights, you've got a class on Saturday mornings, you show up for it. You don't say, oh, I think I got an offer where I can go drink with my friends. I can go eat with my friends. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Nope. Then you're out. And I got really tough with a lot of my clients. And I said, look, 26 years later, I think I finally woke up and said, my time is valuable. I know my value, the big mantra that's all over all of our merchandise, which, by the way, you all need to get those t-shirts and wear them proudly around town and start telling people. That's your best way. I know so many people are sharing the love of the show. Your best way to do so is wear that merchandise proudly. I love the new pink we have and the new teal colors. They're gorgeous. We got those back in the spring and the summer. So we've got purple. That's really pretty. We've got red. We've got, of course, Monica blue. We've got green, and then the pink and the teal I mentioned. So it says, know your value across the front. You've seen me wear them at live shows. You've seen my team wear them. We've got guys long sleeve shirts as well that say MA Sport. And then we've got the jackets as we start to get into fall. You're going to probably want those jackets, really pretty blue, black, and pink that we have for the women, and then blue and black for the guys. So check it out online. There's your merchandise. Ashlyn, thank you so much. Right on cue. She just posted it for you. So you don't have to do anything more than just click on it and then place your order. We also have coffee or tea mugs, so you can drink your tea and coffee with us in the morning that say know your value. You just want to have that all around you so that you're constantly getting the message of the importance of knowing what you need to do to take care of yourself. And we've got, of course, those journals that we really had so many people ask us for. That was the very first thing when I said, do you want merchandise? And everyone's like, yes. They started by saying they wanted journals. So it was journals, t-shirts, jackets, and mugs. And then you tell me, what else would you like for us to add? We'll add as long as you're wanting it. Our final 10 minutes of the show. Okay, I asked you to grab a piece of paper and a pen. I don't know if you've already done this, but I asked you to draw 5 lines. Okay, listen closely because this is for you, and this is for your kids. This is for your parents. It can be for your siblings, whoever you want to help along that's struggling in the mental and the spiritual side of life. Right now, and I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes to do so, I want you to write down in those 5 lines, if you just got some incredible news, all right, you got a promotion, you just got engaged, you just found out you're having a baby, whatever the incredible news is, in those 5 lines, write down a person's name in each one of the lines that you would call to tell them the news. Now, the same thing applies. You got horrible news. You just found out that you've got some illness. You just found out that a person that you love is in the final day of their lives. You just got a car accident. Whatever it may be, who would you call? On those lines, put down those names. Right, Missy? I mentioned this was from church. I did this at church also, and I loved it. Missy, did you go to the crossing? Because that's where it was from. Now, I'll tell you, this is what's interesting. It's all in whether you're ready to receive it. My husband was with me at church on Sunday, and he was not happy. He said, this isn't church. This isn't what I was looking for today. It did not connect with him. And I said, it's okay, right? The people who were supposed to get the message got the message that day. And for me, I understood where he was coming from, that it did feel like, okay, I thought I was coming to church and suddenly I'm sitting here at a life coaching session. Now, he wasn't wanting that. He did not receive it. And he's still saying that he got nothing out of it. But he said, Monica, you are more aware of your spirituality. You're more ready for the world to, take on a message from you. And so he said, I think you were meant to hear this. Missy said yes. Okay, I was at which location, by the way, Missy? And you'll hopefully say hi if you ever see me there. I would love to go to the Chesterfield location. It's just a little too far from the house. So we were at the Fenton location. They also have Mid Rivers, and I think they have one in Grants Trail. So I'm looking forward. I was asking where the heck Greg had been. Greg's the pastor at the crossing. I finally got the answer that they evidently have him take a sabbatical and he'll come back in the fall. Oh, you were at Fenton? Oh my gosh. Well, we were at the 11 a.m. mass. So yeah, we're going to do this. So she did it already. She knows what we're doing with this. Amazing. It's obviously not the same people. Oh, Richard, well, that's interesting. So are you saying that the list of names that you have would not be the same for the good news and the bad news? That's an interesting factor. I also thought it was powerful and very vulnerable of the female pastor for letting go. This is an interesting thing for you to think about. She said that she will call people on the list that agree with her, that she's looking to always be right. And she wants people to feed. To me, I call that feeding the ego. Rich says, correct. Interesting. See, my list is absolutely the same. I want to say the same to the people that want to know good news and the same to people of bad news. You don't have to give me names, but this is what I want you to do. Okay, this is the next step of this. Looking at that list, you're going to put crosses on the left side, not yet. Crosses on the left side and then a plus minus on the right side. So what do I mean by the cross? Look at the names that you've just written down, and next to them, if you feel that that person really brings more of a spiritual side and connection to your life, put a cross next to their name. It does not mean that they go to church. They may. It does not mean that they regularly speak about their faith, but you just feel that they lead and they connect with you on a faith-based side. And Missy, if you want to add anything else that you took from that, let me know. But that is how I interpreted that it is your crosses. Who are your crosses on that list? And you may look at that and go, yeah, that person's not. I will tell you, without telling you names, I had my 5 names, and they did mirror each other on the good and the bad news. I had 3 crosses. I had 2 that didn't have crosses next to their name. Okay, I don't want to move this too fast, but I think you've gotten the point here. On the right side, listen very closely because this is what's important. When you deliver the good news or the bad news to the people on that list, do you hang up the phone or leave the in-person conversation feeling that you had a positive experience or that you had a negative experience? Did the person receive the message and take you into a different path and you come away with it going, well, wow, here I was proud of my new promotion, proud of me and my husband having a baby, proud that I've gotten engaged, you name it, whatever it is, excited that I'm going on vacation and got to share that good news. And then the person you talked to came out of it and told you, oh, well, if you go there, they're going to have big spiders. Like when I went to New Zealand and Australia, I can't tell you how many people were like, well, you don't want to go there. And I was like, why are you being negative? Why are you talking this down? It's the most beautiful area I've been wanting to go to since I was a kid. And some people on my list would sit there and say, well, they have huge spiders. They've got all these insects. You don't want to do this. And I thought, okay. And then next person on the list, excited. Monica, you've been wanting to do this since you were a kid. That would be a plus. The person I just mentioned would be a negative or a minus. Let's put it as a minus instead of using the word negative. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions you have about that? Now look deep at that list. Do you have cross pluses? Do you have someone that you put a cross next to their name on the left side, and they also have I just got to chill. And they also have a plus. So the positive, I'm just going to say it's a positive. Circle that name. And then tell me how many on your list do you have that are cross pluses? And then get ready for it. When we return, before we wrap up the show, and we can go much deeper into this in an in-person life coaching session, we can go in person talking very deep about this. We can do Zooms on this in life coaching sessions, or we can go deeper into this as an actual subject right here on the show if you would like. But I'm going to give you a second to look at your list. Tell me how many cross pluses you have, and the awareness that you need to know is coming up as we wrap up the show.
The world needs to be more positive.
Yep.
The world, and I'm spreading positivity with my air fresheners. So,
You and I both,
yes.
sir.
Sadly, I wasn't aware of the Monica Adams show until recently, and was I missing out?
I'm definitely going to turn this on in the mornings on our TV.
She's helping people to understand their value. She's helping women to transform their lives.
From the minute that we walked in, I felt just really comfortable and at home here.
You are always a ray of sunshine and positivity.
Thank you for what you do. I love this whole thing that you're doing.
It's good news. It's great news. It's uplifting and empowering.
But you were engaged, and I love that. So thank you so much.
That's right. Monday through Friday, we are live for you. I show up and I hope you do as well. If you can't watch it live, then you can always watch it on the stream, because all those incredible shows that we've done since March of last year are all waiting there for you. Again, just like the message in church for us this past weekend, it was waiting there for me. It was waiting there for everybody else. It's just, were you ready for it? Now, are you ready to implement it like we're doing today? So, Julie says, same people for me on the positive and the negative news list. Okay. Ashlyn said 2 people. Everybody else, did you do the little project? If not, do me a favor, drop a comment if you watch this later. Let me know how many you had. So I had 5 lines, just like all of you. 3 on that list were cross pluses for me. And this is what I want to do to bring it home. Those people that you have circled, that is your inner circle. Those are the people that you should call. Those are the people who are there for you and you're there for them. Now, the other people on the list, sure, they might be close to you, but if you regularly walked away feeling this is not what I wanted as the end result, there seems to be a disconnect. It doesn't mean you don't love them. Of course you do. I had siblings. I had spouse, I had mother, I had dear friends on that list, but 2 are not maybe the people that I will regularly want to deliver the news to and have deep conversations, because I may not come out of it feeling this is what I'm needing from it. But those that I circled, that's your inner circle. I call that your tribe. Those are the people you should be calling. Should. So if you listen closely, 10 minutes ago, I said, who do you call? It doesn't mean who you should call. Who do you call? And then start figuring out, why do you call them? Do you call them because the people who are not cross pluses, do you call them because you want to live in the negativity? Do you call them because you want to be filled with drama? Or as that pastor said, do you call them because you want somebody to pump up your ego and say that you're right and agree with you? That's not the right people to call. Was this an aha moment for you? Linda said 3 people. Same people for me. She circled all 5. Well, aren't you lucky to have 5 cross pluses? And I hope that you're their cross plus as well, because in life, that's what I want to be. I want to be your cross plus. I hope you got a lot out of today's show. I thought it was really powerful. And if you'd like for me to go more in depth into that, I would be happy to do so. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I want you to get some movement in. If you tuned in late and you didn't get a chance to do a workout, that's fine. Take this week or last week or anything that I've done. There's also a whole channel of workouts I used to do at Channel 5 called Monica's Motivational Moments. All of these things to help you along. And if you need help even deeper, do me a favor, and we'll put it up on the screen as we wrap things up here. Here's my email address. Reach out, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Let me know what I can do for you, what topics you would like for us to discuss. And if you've got ideas for incredible sponsors that would love to be a part of our show, a lot of people starting to set their budgets for 2025 as we come into the fall. Let us know. And I'm still looking for, because we haven't nailed it down yet, where should we do our 400th celebration? If you didn't hear yesterday, August 8th is our next big mobile Monica. Besides our regular segments, Yuppie Puppies, Forever Rescue on Thursdays, every other usually. This particular month, we're going to do back-to-back Thursdays. So you'll see us with Jessica tomorrow and next Thursday. We're taking this Wednesday, today, off from Wet Your Whistle Wednesday. We're going to be doing it every other. So we'll be back with Chuck Gillentine at Defiance Ridge Vineyards next Wednesday, and then the final Wednesday of the month. Those will be the 2 that we'll do for July. But we do have an opportunity for a new Wet Your Whistle Wednesday sponsor on the alternate days. Do you know somebody that would like for us to feature as a distributing company? Maybe they've got a business kind of like Clayton Winehouse. That was our first sponsor, where we were talking about all different types of things. Bourbon's very popular right now and has been for a while. Obviously, craft beer scene is hopping. Wine, whatever, non-alcoholic mocktails. Let me know if you've got an idea of a really cool sponsor for that. Medical Monday, we've got, of course, Dr. Sarah Jensen. Love her with regional dermatology. She's on with us on Mondays. So we do have some regular segments, but if you've got an idea for a really cool segment you would like for us to start, I just want you to feel like you're a part. Like, let's act like you're one of the producers of the show. Okay. So Marilyn, before we wrapped up, said, sadly, no family members on there. It doesn't have to be sad. Remember, we can't pick our family. They are our family. And if you're blessed, then you have some of your best friends as your family members. But don't feel sad about that. It's okay. Rich said, it seems like I share my bad news to different people than I share my good news. So maybe that's a life coaching thing that you start to journal about. Why do you think that is, Rich? Go deeper into that and feel free to reach out and let me know what you thought. Love your workout tips. I do use them throughout the week. Thank you, Linda. So it's not all for naught. All right, everybody. I hope you got what you needed in the triangle of life: spiritual, mental, physical help, along with the movement of the day. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to get outside. Not so much rain today. Enjoy it. Be safe. Know that we've got some hot temperatures coming this weekend. And one more time as we wrap up, here's a look for you at the 7-day forecast. 87 for your high today, 89, 91, 92, 96 on Sunday, and then we get to 97. But look at the heat indices. If you haven't seen those, it just gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and remember, the greatest thing you can do in life is to be kind.